Alrighty, and we are live. Welcome in, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Going the Distance podcast. My name is Ryan Bennell, and alongside me is my co-host Elijah Span. We've got a great episode planned for today. A little bit of NFL draft going on because that has snuck up on both of us, as I'm sure it has a lot of you listening. Because let's be honest, this draft class is a little bit boring compared to years past, but we'll get to that in a minute. And we also have our NBA playoff breakdown, basically just a little tidbit on every series going through it, some more than others because there's a little bit more relevancy in some. And last but not least, if you haven't heard, there's a potential Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou fight, cross between boxing and MMA. We'll see what's going on there. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, rounding it out with Love It or Loathe It. But before we get into anything, be sure you go and follow our social medias over at GTD_sports. And our personal accounts, as you see on screen, is at Ryan Bennell8 and at Elijah Span 19. While you're at it, go over to gtdsports.com where you can find all of our content, blogs, other podcasts, and everything. But for now, you're with us live on YouTube, live on Twitch. And, almost forgot, last but not least, use code GTDS125 on BetUS Sportsbook for up to 125% deposit bonus when you sign up. So go ahead and get into that, and we're going to get into our highlight, lowlight of the weekend. Elijah, you want to start us off?
Yeah. So I hit a 4-legger parlay last week. That felt good. I haven't hit a parlay with more than 3 legs since like Thanksgiving Day. So, but I also keep in mind, I also don't place a lot of parlays, much less 4-leggers, because I don't know. I'm a straight bets guy. Like
we've become more responsible gamblers over the years.
Yeah, they just burned me too many times. I generally stay away, but I made one Hail Mary. It actually hit. Felt really good. So it was like a half unit to win 8 units.
Yeah, I could tell you were feeling it because you sent it to me too. Like I just knew you were happy because you texted me the random win. I was like, oh hey, cool.
Yeah, it's been a while. And then low light is Bally Sports.
Yeah, I saw this in the notes and like I laughed immediately just because I already know where you're going with this, like just how fucking terrible Bally Sports is. It's just I'm looking forward to this. Go ahead.
I mean, first off, their score bug is ugly.
It is, yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. It's the fact that they have an empire around local TV, and you can only get it with DirecTV. And so that's, first of all, that's stupid. And it's like, so I can't watch Rangers games, and I've been trying to stream them like a pirate. Mm-hmm. And my laptop, because I don't want to do it on my new computer because I don't want anything to get on my new computer.
Yeah, that would be a little scary.
Yeah, because I just spent a lot of money on it. So I've been trying to use my laptop. My laptop won't load the stream, and that's been pretty annoying. So I've watched 2 Ranger games this year, and that's been difficult for me. And like, there's no other way to do it other than get DirecTV and get the sports package, which would be about $150 a month or something like that.
Yeah, dude, that's so annoying, especially because like, and this is a whole nother conversation, like cutting the cord, getting rid of cable and everything, because our generation, especially, bro, nobody uses DirecTV. Like everybody's using YouTube TV or like, the Hulu Live Sports, stuff like that, rather than paying, because that's just the sports package. And then you got to pay more on top of that a month. Like it's insane. Where YouTube TV is a killer deal. You can get like all the sports channels for like an extra $5 a month. But again, they don't have the Bally Sports. So like,
oh, dude, and I lost it because last week, so I have Sling for some reason. Don't ask me why. And they had NBA TV, and I was going to watch the Mavs playoff game. And when I clicked on it for NBA TV, it was blacked out because of Bally Sports, so I couldn't watch it. It's different with TNT because that's a nationally televised game. But for the NBA TV ones, like you can't watch it if you're in that local market. And I blew a fuse. Like,
did you at least get to pull up a stream of that one?
No, I think I just went to bed angry.
Yeah, dude, it's been so frustrating, especially because like, I mean, there was problems whenever it was like Fox Sports and all the local Fox Sports affiliates, but Bally Sports literally just came out of nowhere a few years ago. Like, I remember just one day going, and I think it was like at the Rangers ballpark where I first really noticed it, was just like seeing Bally Sports put up everywhere. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, and then I saw it on Stars games and then Mavs stuff. And then I'm like, I had no idea where they came from even, but
Yeah, it was the start. It was opening day like last year. And I remember me and my buddy were like, what the fuck is Bally Sports? Like, what is this? Like, what happened to Fox Sports Southwest? I mean, they have the same announcing team, but I don't know. I just want to watch Rangers games and not have to stream it on shitty streams that are 5 minutes behind and blurry.
yeah, because then you get like the home run notification on your phone and you're like, damn it. Like, it wasn't excited. Yeah.
Yeah. If I get a home run notification from the Wooded Dong account before I can see it on the TV, there's a problem.
Oh, are you subscribed to the Wooded Dong's tweets?
Yeah, I got the noti on.
That's honestly a good idea. That would be a good way to keep up with the scores too in general. Like, but I do love that Twitter account, especially whenever they make fun of Yankees players.
Yeah, it lets me know who's hot.
All right, and then my highlight for over the weekend is also a little bit of like GTD news altogether. Kind of in the works right now. We're gonna start it. We're gonna or I guess not start, but roll it out per se in the next couple of days. We've got a new Chalkboard group in the works. If you haven't heard of Chalkboard, they are essentially like a sports betting Discord app. It's combining all like the social elements of Discord with the tracking capabilities of like the Action Network per se, where you can track your bets, manage them, everything like that. And we're gonna have our own group, our own GTD group, where me, Elijah, Matt, everybody at GTD, not everybody, but most of us, at least the ones that participate in sports gambling, will just be on there talking about sports, giving out our picks, everything. So excited about that. We'll again give out more information and post on social media whenever that's confirmed. But if you're listening right now, go ahead and stay on the lookout and be ready to join that when it comes out. And for my low light, kind of bleeds into our discussion for today, is this draft class is an absolute snooze fest. And maybe it's just my ignorance, because for some reason this year I just haven't paid attention like nearly as much. But I also feel like the reason I haven't paid attention as much is because the draft class is a snooze fest. Because I mean, I watch a lot of mainstream sports media, like quite a bit, and there has not been much on the draft. Like, obviously, if you're watching NFL Network or like some special draft coverage, they're going to talk about the draft. But like on traditional Sports Center, like all that kind of vibe, like Around the Horn, the talk shows, there's barely been anything about the draft. So I don't want to say I'm not looking forward to it, because I love the NFL draft. It's always exciting.
Yeah,
like,
I'm going to watch.
Yeah, of course. Like, there's so many things that could happen. It's entertainment. But let's go ahead and get into some of the discussions with the first big one. The big one is the number one pick. In years past, we had Joe Burrow, guaranteed number one pick. Trevor Lawrence was a guaranteed number one pick. They were shoo-ins. We already knew who was going to get taken. This year, we don't. It was everything leading up to the draft, like the past 3-4 months, everything that I've seen was Aiden Hutchinson. Now, the last couple weeks right before the draft, all of a sudden I'm seeing Trayvon Walker from Georgia come out of nowhere.
Not even weeks, like a week.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he literally just all of a sudden is like the new number one. And I'm like,
yeah,
where did that come from?
I think the Jaguars don't want people to know what they're picking number one, which I don't understand that. Maybe because they're sending out smoke screens so they can maybe trade back. I'm not really sure why they're keeping it so close, because there's literally no point in like keeping a secret who's number one. Like, you hold all the cards.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, nobody can fuck up your pick. Like, you do you. Like, yeah.
Pretty much like when Andrew Luck was going to be picked, like the Colts pretty much announced, like, yeah, we're picking Andrew Luck. So I don't really understand it, or like why it's been so mysterious, but it has been. So, but I would love it if they picked Trayvon Walker over Aiden Hutchinson, because I want to see Aiden Hutchinson go to the Lions and be with Dan Campbell and be like 90 minutes away or an hour away from where he went to school. So
that would be a good combo. I would like to see Hutchinson in Campbell's system.
Plus the Lions desperately need a defensive end. They
desperately need a lot of things. But yeah,
they
you're right.
really need a lot of things. That's why they're not picking a quarterback too, which I think is really smart. I think they need to have somewhat more of a team around them. And that seems to be what they're going to do.
I mean, especially at number 2, especially in this draft class, you're not going to take a quarterback. Jesus Christ, at number 2.
I would just build like the foundational cornerstones. Like they have a tackle to protect the guy that comes in. They should probably pick some interior linemen in the 2nd or 3rd round. Probably the 3rd round. That's usually the sweet spot.
They have a couple wide receivers that can make plays, like Amon-Ra St. Brown. DeAndre Swift is a killer skill position. Dual threat running back. So
they have some skill guys. Probably draft another receiver. They might
draft one more.
They might draft one at the bottom with their 32nd, which we'll get to in a bit. But I would just love to see Hutchinson play for the Lions.
Yeah, I also agree now that you bring it up. But my main thing with like the number 1 pick is, we went transition from Hutchinson to now Trayvon Walker, which, I mean, that's fine. I don't have like a preference. I don't necessarily see it as like a huge bust one way or the other. I don't necessarily think there's really a way you can go wrong at number 1 this year, which is really weird to say because, it holds so much gravity. But I think there's like a few guys that I could totally see being number 1. And maybe this is just my ignorance, but what the hell happened to Kayvon Thibodeau? He has just nonstop over the last 10 months since college football started last year. He was like far and away the guaranteed number 1, like a Joe Burrow type-esque player, not like that good, but in the sense that he was seen as the future number 1. And then now he's debatably a top 5.
So with him, it's like there's a lot of questions about his love for the game. Funnily
really?
enough. Yeah, they're saying that he's not that committed. Todd McShay pointed out that like his effort in the Pac-12 championship game was like not there. And so there's just a lot of questions of like, does this guy really? So it seems to me like he doesn't really care about football as much as some of the other guys here. And like, why the hell would you draft somebody with a premium pick that may or may not care that much?
Honestly, that's tough because I mean, obviously, you're right. Like that does play a factor.
Like it's the mental. Like scouts have really caught on to that. The mental elements of the game are just as important as the physical elements.
I think to some extent, yes, but I mean, like you're not going to find another defensive end like obviously Hutchinson and Walker like as defensive players are crazy, but like Kayvon Thibodeau is a pretty unique player. I mean, he's pretty athletic, he's pretty versatile off the line. Like obviously, yes, the mental thing is a factor, but it's like hard for me to see a team like prioritizing that so heavily that they just kind of are like, no, we're just not going to take our chances on this insanely gifted human being.
Well, I actually read a recent article on ESPN about draft busts, and literally all of them were like athletic freaks tested off the charts. One of them that brought up was like Justin Gilbert, and they're saying like this guy tested out of the waters, his 40 speed, his length, his arms, like because for cornerbacks they like to measure their arms. I'm sorry, brain dead today. And he was supposed to be like the next big thing. And of course, Browns picked him and he was like a huge bust. And he kind of got a pass for being a bust because he was drafted the same draft class as Johnny Manziel. So everybody kind of forgot. Cleveland kind of got away with busting that. But he was like, I mean, he was just as bad as Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I can see it, I guess. I don't know. It's hard for me to say just because everything I've heard about Thibodeau has just been nothing but good things. But again, I haven't necessarily really seen anything this past month while he's been on that major decline. So I am curious to see where he's going to end up. Most people have him in the top 5, like on the edge of the top 5, probably going to anywhere from the Texans, Jets, Giants to even the Panthers. So I would honestly, it makes sense if the Giants were to take him at 5. That makes sense to me from a New York perspective, but we'll see how things play out. One thing I'm also kind of more excited to see play out rather than just the number 1 pick itself is the quarterbacks. Where are these quarterbacks going to go?
So we don't know.
Exactly. That's why I'm curious about it.
Straight up don't know. A lot of mock drafts, because they don't use trades, are saying like the 20th pick with Pittsburgh. I think a lot of people are saying Pittsburgh's the most likely option. Sans trades. I do think that we're probably not going to see a quarterback picked in the top 10.
I hope not, honestly.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to draft either Pickett or
Malik Willis.
Yeah, in the top 10. I would, if I was a fan of that team, I would not be happy. So maybe like the 13 to 18 range is where we're probably going to see a guy get picked. But beyond that, maybe in like the 20s, and then like the 32nd spot is kind of a spot that's been talked about a lot for a team to trade up and get the 5th-year option for a quarterback that they want. For Detroit to trade out of it and then just pick a guy at the end of the first, kind of like Teddy Bridgewater a couple years ago and Lamar Jackson. And so like Desmond Ritter has been seen as that kind of guy, or I think kid from Ole Miss. Matt Corral.
Yeah, Matt Corral. Yeah.
So they're thinking about those two guys could maybe go in the, but like, I don't know. I mean, these guys really aren't all that impressive. Like, what do you think? I don't even think either of these guys would have been drafted in the first round if they entered last year's class.
No, I definitely don't think so, bro. Last year's like the 5 quarterbacks in the first round last year, all 5 of them were way better prospects than these guys. And it's not to knock it, because I'm not a big Kenny Pickett believer. I don't think he's going to have a career, but I think that Malik Willis is the one quarterback of this class that potentially has a chance to come in and do something. I also may say the same about I'm blanking. Desmond Ritter, the Cincinnati guy. Desmond Ritter showed a lot, but his competition was a lot different in college. So, and then one name that had a lot of attention in like the preseason of college football last year was the Nevada quarterback Carson Strong. He originally was supposed to be like the number 1 guy out of the class, but then kind of fell off a bit over the course of the season. So again, yeah, I don't think that any of these guys would have been a first-round pick last year. And I think, Pickett and Willis are definitely like the top 2 talked about guys right now. And after those 2, there's just a big drop-off. And the irony in that is like those 2 aren't even that good. And there's still a big drop-off from those 2 to the rest.
Yeah. Well, then one thing about how you said like that, or Carson Strong was like predicted potential number 1 pick. Those things never pan out. I just want to let you know.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I've read one of those where it had Brad Kaya, the former Miami QB, going number 1 overall, and then people suddenly, like, as soon as the season started, they're like, this kid isn't going number 1.
But sometimes, like, I remember Josh Allen. He wasn't projected number 1, but like Josh Allen was like this Wyoming quarterback's a dime of a first-round pick.
Yeah, like, they had that. Well, that class was pretty much sorted out. That was Mahomes was before that. Who's the first overall pick? Like, they all had Darnold and Josh Rosen and Josh Allen, like, all as first round picks, and they all were, but only really Allen panned out. Anyway, but no, like Pickett, he wouldn't even be like a 3rd round pick.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, he's seen as a little more polished guy, but like, I don't know if I'd want to be the guy. If anything, though, I mean, he will have a long career, but I don't know if he'll have a long career as a starter.
That's what I was about to say. Is he may be an ideal NFL backup. He just may become that guy. He
might be Teddy Bridgewater.
I don't know. He's a very different player than Teddy Bridgewater.
But like same type of career arc. Somebody said on the highest end, I heard someone, I think it was McShay or Daniel Jeremiah. They said like Pickett could maybe be like an Alex Smith type of guy, which like that would be a great career, honestly. Somebody told me like if I was a quarterback, they're like, "Hey, you're gonna have the same career as Alex Smith." I'd be like, "I'd take that."
Sweet, yeah, sweet. I'll take that all day.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, fuck me. Sorry to change the topic, but my parlay, the Angels just gave up a 2-run home run in the top of the first.
I told you, dude.
6 start, bro. I mean, it's Shohei, dude. I'm a sucker, bro. I had to.
I
really wanted
almost faded them because of Shohei.
I mean, it's a long game. Okay, it's only first inning. We got a little bit to go, but anyway, while we're on the topic of quarterbacks, though, moving from the incoming rookies to one of the current guys in the league, will anything happen with Baker Mayfield this draft? Because obviously Cleveland's got Deshaun Watson now, paying him a shit ton of guaranteed money. Baker Mayfield is just going to be watching on the sideline for now, and it seems like Cleveland's going to try their best to dish him off during the draft, because if they don't, they're only going to be able to trade him for like a 6th-round pick, and that's it. Probably.
Dude, I already think that's what it's going to be.
I do too. If I was an NFL GM, I would be like, fuck no, fuck you, because everybody knows that their back is against the wall. They have to get rid of him or they're going to get pennies and scraps. So they're like, all right, I'll just wait and I'll give you pennies and scraps. Like,
yeah, I kind of feel bad for Baker because he doesn't kind of deserve
you're right,
what's being happened to him, because like he's a better quarterback than what he's getting right now. But like Texans didn't want him because they like Davis Mills and they didn't want Baker to fuck with his development, which I kind of like because I think Davis Mills might be a stud.
I mean, he showed potential. So
yeah, a lot. And then at this point, honestly, I don't even think a team's going to trade for him. I think he's going to get released after the draft because you can't have him stay in Cleveland.
A 6th-round pick or anything.
Not even, dude. Not even, because for them to trade, they're also taking on Baker's contract, and I think a lot of the league knows that like if they just wait, Baker's going to get cut, because what are they going to do? Have him around while Deshaun Watson's around? No, Baker's going to be fucking pissed. He's going to be turned into a locker room cancer.
Yeah.
The Browns don't need that, like, at all. So they're just going to toss his ass to the street anyway. So if I was a GM and I needed a QB, I still wouldn't trade for Baker because I don't want to take that cap hit. I just wait for him to get cut, and then I'd reach out to him then.
Yeah, I agree, though, overall. Like, I don't see anything happening with it. But the irony is I'm a big Baker hater. This has been brought up many times on this podcast. But you're right. He doesn't deserve this. He's not that bad. Like, I don't think he's good, but he is good enough to be a starter in the NFL and not treated like, some scum that they're trying to get off the roster sheet.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he's a top 20 starter.
Top 20, yeah. I'd say like 20 to 16 in that range. Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, so overall, I don't think anything will happen, but it'll be very interesting to see if something does, because I think it will be hilarious if a team reaches for him somehow,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, did something happen with your parlay?
No, I forgot to put a picture of my fantasy baseball lineup. That's the second time this has happened. That's why I lost last week. Sorry. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. All right, so receivers. Moving from QB to receivers. There's the hype every year with the receivers. It seems like there's a decent amount this year that have first-round potential. So how many do you see going to the first round?
Before we get into it, like you said, like the receivers are getting more and more buzz. That's why I don't get why all these trades and big contracts are being out, because it seems like every year for the past 5 years, we've gotten drafts with loaded receivers.
You're right. That's a very good point. Like there's so much more talent coming in at that position. Yeah.
There's like 6 wide receivers and taken in the first round. It seems like for the past 3 or 4 years, and every single one
of them pan out.
Yeah. At least 50% chance they're like flat out stud. Like CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson from the same draft.
There's probably another great one.
Who?
Well, not the same draft class, but
well, Chase, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith seems to be is going to be a starter.
Probably going to be decent.
And who else was a stud in that draft that was really good last year as a rookie?
Henry Ruggs. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, he was good before that happened. But no, like they're hitting at a 50% clip, except for Eagles picks.
Except for Jalen Reagor, our TC boy,
which makes me sad. They might draft another receiver this year, which, like, if I was an Eagles fan, I would be so pissed. I'd be like, draft anything but a receiver. We can get a receiver in the second round. Like, don't do this to me. It was kind of like Atlanta's pick to take another wide receiver, and I would just be like, please, just pick defense in the first round. Please. Like, we can wait. Calvin Ridley might come back, which I think he he might be done, honestly.
Dude, I was about to say, dude, I don't know what his future
Might be gone
holds.
forever.
Yeah,
but
that's
anyway,
a weird situation.
Back to the question is that like there's at least definitely 6 guys that are gonna go for sure. Like Drake London is gonna get taken top 10. Garrett Wilson is gonna be top 10, and he's gonna be those guys. Drake London and Garrett Wilson are kind of 1 and 2 interchangeably across the league. Just depends on what team you ask. Chris Olave is going to go in the first round. Jameson Williams is still going to go in the first round despite his ACL. Jahan Dotson out of Penn State is going to get picked, and Treylon Burks, the big kid out of Arkansas, is also pretty much a lock to go in the first round. There's also 2 more that could sneak in, like Skye Moore from Western Michigan and Kenny Pickett from Georgia.
Oh, Kenny Pickett. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I was about to say, like, for me, I know it's like a good draft class because for receivers at least, because I watch a lot of college football, but there is a lot of names and a lot of players in Division I college football. So a lot of times it's hard to remember all the skill positions, especially like wide receiver, whenever teams have 4 of them. So these are all guys that I know, like just off the top of my head, and I can tell you they are all first round caliber players, like at least second round caliber players. So I would not be surprised if all of the guys you just mentioned went first round. Maybe not Skye Moore, the Western Michigan guy. I would actually probably take the Georgia guy. I just blanked on his name. Pickens, yeah, over him. But yeah, I think at least 6. Do you know what the over under on receivers taken in the first round is?
On my book, it's 6.
Oh, dude, of course it is. Right on 6.
I need that 5.5.
That's what I was about to say, bro. If it's 5.5, I'm hammering that, dude.
Yeah,
that's tough. But I'm excited to see. I think this will be another good draft class. If I had to make my picks on who will like be a success in the league, I'm going to go with Jameson Williams if he can, get healthy. Jameson Williams, Drake London, and Treylon Burks. Those would be my top 3. I really like Burks, his size, his mobility. I just like the way he plays.
I love Chris Olave. So
see, for me, I think Olave is either going to be like the best receiver in this draft or like the one that falls off. I don't for some reason, I don't see an in between. I don't know why, but that's just kind of the vibe I'm getting.
It just seemed like anytime Ohio State needed a big play, it was Chris Olave. Like CJ Stroud was like,
it's true. Yeah, that is true.
I mean, Garrett Wilson got a ton of production too, but I don't know. I just love Chris Olave, especially because of the Rose Bowl.
Oh yeah. Oh, who was what's his name? Smith and Jigba. That's the other guy, right? At Ohio State, they had like the 300 yards during their game.
Yeah. Smith and Jigba, or was it Olave?
Smith and Jigba had like a 311-yard game. I'm forgetting if it was. Bowl? I don't know if it was in the conference championship or in the Rose Bowl.
There was definitely a 300-yard receiver in the Rose Bowl. I remember that.
Because I think that was the game that like Olave and/or Wilson was out, and then Smith and Jigba.
Wilson was definitely out. Maybe I'm just blanking. I mean, this was 6 months ago. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, I mean, yeah. There's nothing wrong with it, but I do think. I mean, either way, they're a hell of a receiver.
It was Smith and Jigba.
Okay.
I don't think he's in this draft.
He's not. Yeah, but he's supposed to have a lot of hype soon, and then also Marvin Harrison Jr. is supposed to have a lot of hype for the next draft.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Who does he play for?
Ohio State.
He does?
Yeah.
Dude, Ohio State has so many receivers.
Dude, I know, bro. Wait, let me triple check. Like, okay, Marvin Harrison Jr. Where does he play? Okay, well, that's Harrison. Yeah, the Ohio State. Yeah.
Okay. All right. But yeah, so wide receiver heavy draft. So if your team needs a wide receiver, chances are they're picking one in the first round. So,
yeah, bro, that's not even fair, man. Ohio State's going from Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave to now Marvin Harrison Jr. and Smith and Jigba. Like, bro,
them in Alabama, they just don't have problems.
Yeah, exactly. That's yikes. All right. Speaking of wide receivers, though, we kind of just talked about teams like the Eagles, taking a wide receiver nonstop in the first round. But is this finally the year that the Green Bay Packers take a wide receiver in round 1 after dishing off Devontae Adams?
Oh my God, I hope so.
It has to be,
because at that point, if they don't this year, it's just ridiculous.
Like, if I was Aaron, I would want out of my contract if they don't do it. I would want to find a way to get out of that shit. Send me somewhere else.
It's like, hey, you know the thing that's pissed off our quarterback for the past 10 years? It's like, yeah. It's like, let's keep doing that.
It's like the reason that he almost left and we had like this year-long, like, super public disputes. Like, yeah, fuck it. Like, let's keep it going, you know? I really hope they pick somebody. Where are the Packers picking? They're down at number 22. Ooh. I mean, they could definitely get one of those top 6 guys, I think.
Well, they have 2 first-round picks, though.
Oh, wait, where's their other one?
It's right in the
28
same range.
Yeah, 22 and 28. Okay. Yeah, at least one of them, bro. They got to get at least one of those top 6 guys.
Or they could package those or trade up and get a guy.
That is true. Who do you think? Do you think they would have their eye on anybody in particular?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
They lost. I mean, they don't really. Who
they might even just use. I would just use a 22nd and a 28th on the fucking receiver.
Both on wide receivers.
Yeah, I honestly would if I was the
Packers. Aren't going to do that, dude.
They're not. But the thing is, I mean, they were like arguably a Super Bowl contender before they dished off Devontae Adams, and I think they also lost Alan Lazard, or was it Valdez-Scantling?
Valdez-Scantling. He went to the Chiefs.
Okay, yeah. So I knew they lost one of those guys too. So
yeah,
like I don't know, man. This has to be the year.
They got to do it.
They got to do it. Like,
the
rest of their team is solid. Like they don't necessarily like have any standout needs, at least that I can think about. Maybe a cornerback. So
I mean, they got Jair still.
Yeah, Jair, but I mean that's it really.
And Rasul Douglas.
Okay, maybe a little bit. See, I always just think of
he might be a one-hit wonder, but they re-signed him.
What's I forget his first name. King on
Desmond
the
King.
Desmond King. Like he's like so bad. The cornerback that's just absolutely terrible. Gets
burnt
every time.
He's a stud at Iowa too.
Yeah, that's so weird. But alrighty though.
Fuck.
What happened?
I run line the Marlins, and now it's 2-1 in the bottom of the 8th.
Oh shit!
That's so infuriating.
Oh, that's pain. All right, okay. I guess we're both, or not both, but we're still on the kind of wide receiver-ish topic. Oh no, never mind. Sorry, brain fart there. We're gonna go ahead and talk now trades, potential trades. There are 8 teams that have 0 first-round picks. And there are 6 teams that have a pair of first-round picks, which that doesn't seem like a normal occurrence. I don't remember the last time that like multiple teams had 2 picks in the first round. So it's going to be interesting to see what goes down. There's so much room for movement, so much room for last-minute trades, last-minute picks. So it's going to be chaos. What are you expecting? Do you see any one that stands out or any foreshadowing that you kind of have in the back of your mind you see?
I could probably see a lot of teams trading down.
Yeah, like especially the guys with 2 picks, yeah.
But I could see a lot of like the Chiefs trading up and jumping up to grab a receiver like the Packers potentially could. The Chiefs are more likely to do it than the Packers because the Chiefs have a lot of draft picks this year. But they really don't have that many roster spots for all their draft picks. So they're definitely a team. And then I mentioned like Detroit at 32 could be a trade down spot for somebody to snag up and grab a quarterback at the end because I don't think they're going to. And they also have a pick at the top of the second round. So it's not like whatever. Wouldn't be.
Oh, yeah, they literally pick 34th. Yeah, that's like nothing. If I was the Lions, I would definitely trade 32 then.
Maybe if they just really like somebody just to have like.
It depends on how the board goes, I guess.
They got holes everywhere, dude. So
yeah,
I mean, if they don't get a good enough offer, they could just be like, well, our team sucks, so we're gonna pick somebody.
You might as well get somebody.
Yeah, seriously. So I don't know. I mean, it's crazy because like, what's gonna happen to Debo? Because that will be somebody who's trading down for sure. And it's definitely going to have to be in the first round.
See, that's tough. I don't know. Like, I don't know if there really is anything that can happen with Debo in the draft. Like, would anybody really be able to afford what the Niners would want for him?
I mean, it'd probably have to be 2 first-round picks.
At least, probably.
I mean,
maybe even and a player swap, probably.
who knows? Who knows? I'm starting to think that Debo's just not going to get traded.
He's just going to end up. Well, I mean, if he doesn't get traded, though, what's going to happen with him?
I don't know. I mean,
is he going to end up like
he
having
might
a
sit
lockout
out,
year
or he
type
might
thing? Yeah.
He might just he just might sign a mega deal with the 49ers.
Basically force them into
I could
paying
see
him.
Yeah, I could see this thing just being like a show, just like, hey, I'm gonna say I want to get traded, everyone's gonna freak out, and they're gonna pay me $1 billion. So
yeah, that's
probably like a Devontae Adams, Tyreek-esque contract.
This is so annoying. Like, it has been annoying before because I had honestly never really thought about what you mentioned earlier in the sense of like these last few receiver draft classes have been nuts. There's been so many good, talented players. Like, there's almost no room for these drama queen divas to be demanding $200 million a year as a wide receiver. Like, I feel like we may get to the point eventually in like modern football where look at running backs per se. It's so hard for a running back to demand a lot of money because running backs are so replaceable. Like, you can draft a guy in the 3rd round and he could turn out better than, the 5th overall pick at running back. Like,
it's happening to the Cowboys right now.
Yeah. There's so many variables and it's just a skill position. They can break out. They just need the fundamentals. They need the coachability. I could totally see eventually we get to the point where like receivers just get less and less valuable, which is weird to say because in terms of offensive schemes, wide receivers are becoming more and more valuable. But in terms of cap space, I don't think there will be any justification to have the receivers as one of the highest paid positions whenever you could quite literally just go to your next option and they'd probably make the same catch, from the quarterback. So like, I don't know. It's a catch-22. That's my take on it, at least. I think that they need to stop being these divas. I don't know what's going to happen with Debo, but it is a bit annoying to see. Another receiver I'm curious to see what might happen is DK Metcalf. Not a lot has really been said about him, but look at Seattle. They're falling apart. They're in rebuild mode. They're doing a full rebuild, and a full rebuild would mean getting rid of your Pro Bowl caliber receiver. So personally, if I was the Seahawks, I might make a move to trade up, like nothing crazy, like maybe around 20-ish. Just dish out DK, see what you can get for him. I'm sure you can get that pick and more picks. So like, I don't know. Why not?
They could do a DK for AJ Brown.
That would be interesting to see.
That'd be stupid.
Wait, what is going on with AJ Brown? I didn't even know anything was happening with him.
AJ Brown's pissed off too, apparently.
What the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
Wait, does he have the same agent?
Yep.
Of course he does.
Yep. Bro. As Debo and DK. Yeah. it's all the same guy. So
that guy's finna get a bag.
No, definitely with the wide receiver contracts, like it's gonna revert back to the mean for sure. Like, I think the next guy is gonna ask for like 150 million, and the GM's just flat out say no, walk.
Yeah,
like I'm not paying you that money. And then other guys, you like as soon as the first guy that doesn't get that type of contract, it's gonna go back. But like, I don't know, because it's going to. There's no way these guys can keep getting like this kind of quarterback money or like top 5 edge rusher money.
So switching now to a different position, running backs. And round 1 in particular, I know the whole draft as a whole is a little bit different of a conversation, but for round 1, do you see there's any running backs worth taking in the top 32?
They're saying that the Bills might pick somebody with their pick in the late first round.
That might make sense because the Bills kind of need a running back, but
yeah, especially after they got burned by Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, it's hard to say because like I literally kind of just preached about how replaceable and how unknown running backs can be in the draft, but I think there's only really like 2 guys that kind of stand out to me that may be a first round talent. And that would be Breece Hall out of Ohio State and Kenneth Walker out of Michigan State. Both big, muscle guys, also crazy fast. Breece Hall, not like super fast. He ran like, I think like a 4.7 40, but I mean, for his size, dude, that's solid. Like 4.6, 4.7, I think it was. But and just watching their college careers, like they kind of are the ones that stood out to me at least. I just wouldn't reach still for either one of them. I just wouldn't reach.
No, they're saying they could either pick a running back or a corner. They'll probably just take a corner and draft a running back in the second or third.
The Bills, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I don't know if I would, if any team though, like, because I guess the Bills is really the only one I could think of off the top of my head that might need a running back like right away. I don't know. It's like the Jaguars just drafted one. Also, they got James Robinson. Lions got DeAndre Swift. The Texans, I mean, Texans may need one, but Texans need literally everything. They don't need.
Yeah, they're not there. They're not there.
They're not worried about a running back yet.
First round at all.
Yeah, but alrighty. Speaking of, we already kind of touched on Georgia a little bit with the number 1 potential pick in Trayvon Walker, but there is a lot more where that came from. Out of Athens, Georgia, there could be as many as 6 defensive players taken in the first round out of Georgia. So whereas we're normally used to seeing those crazy stats for Alabama in the first round picks, now it's Georgia. So what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think this kind of pretty much solidifies if they have 6 guys just from the defensive side of the ball. It really makes a strong argument that that defense last year is like top 3, top 5
all time
college defense all time.
Yeah.
I mean, because in today's NFL, for like to have 6 players go on the same side of the ball, like when Alabama does it, it's like half and half, especially because they just get 2 wide receivers taken every year, a little boost.
Yeah,
they're gonna do it, and then maybe George Pickens slips in, but it's not really a guarantee. He could be like more top of the second, more than likely. But yeah, no, I just think that's really cool. I think I saw something just how ridiculously good the SEC is that the over under for SEC players taken in the first was 10.5.
Jesus, bro.
And it could definitely be the over.
And over half of them are going to be Georgia players. That's insane, dude. Yeah, Georgia, I don't want to say it, but I mean, they're on the brink of starting a dynasty, dude. Like their recruiting has been off the charts. Their coaching, Kirby Smart has been doing killer. Like they're on the brink of being one of the next Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson type teams, which they already kind of are every now and then, just not as consistently. But
yeah, I'll believe it when they see it, because we've seen good Georgia teams before, and then they take a couple of less that they have good season but not great season. But anyway, so last but not least, like draft bets, what do you got?
So this one was kind of tough for me. Draft bets, the odds are always a little bit fucky in my opinion. Like the over unders, sometimes you'll see odds like -170 and +150, and I'm like, okay, well it's a little hard to pick, but I'm going with Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, over 9.5 for his pick position. I think, of course, he's a first-round pick, but in the top 10, a little bit of a stretch. We'll see, because I think people are going to focus more on the defensive side of things in the big fellas, but who knows? And next up is, I think you also have this one as well. This one's probably my favorite pick, because I think that, like I said this before, I think the Giants should take Thibodeau at 5. That makes sense. And I'm taking Thibodeau over 4.5 on his draft position, which is actually a plus odds, +135. I really like that. And then this one's kind of a big one. I'm just going for it because I know there's a lot of defensive studs this year. Give me over 15.5 defensive players taken in round 1. I think it may even be 17 or 18 in round 1. And then last but not least, this one's a little bit of a stretch, but I got to put my money where my mouth is. I think these quarterbacks suck. I don't think any of them deserve round 1. Under 2.5 quarterbacks taken in round 1 for +170 odds.
So there can't be 3?
Yeah, it can't be 3 quarterbacks in the first round.
I mean, I would take that. I think on my book, it was under 3.5, but the odds were -400.
Oh, see, yeah, that's tough. This is +170, which I like it at plus odds. If it wasn't plus odds, I wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
But what do you got?
So for me, I got Kyle Hamilton under 11.5, which I kind of regret because it seems like he might slip a little bit now just because he's a safety. Sauce Gardner over 5.5. I think Derek Stingley Jr. has like overtaken him as top QB or cornerback in this draft.
As he probably should, honestly.
Yep. Tibbs over 4.5, and then Drake London under 10.5. I think 2 wide receivers are going to go in the top 10 with Garrett Wilson and Drake London.
See, I don't know. I like Drake London. I like that Drake London pick better than Wilson. I think Drake London will get drafted before Wilson. Oh, that's
it.
Tough.
Literally could be either
like
or.
That's what I'm saying. They're literally like a coin flip between the two, probably. So, oh, that's really tough. Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully, if you're watching the draft, you got your fun little bets going on. I'm not a huge draft bettor. I know some people go like absolutely ham with this stuff, but I kind of just like to have 3 or 4 plays that I can pay attention to while I watch the draft because it's a very slow process. But yeah, so best of luck to anybody making those prop bets, and excited to see what happens tomorrow. But sounds like Elijah just something happened to his parlay.
Yep.
What happened?
They just the run line's not going to hit, so they're probably going to win 2-1, but not -1.5.
So let me see if the Angels are choking or not.
Yeah,
the
right
Angels. Oh, the Angels tied it. Let's go.
Nice.
Oh, that makes me feel a little bit better.
Getting some NBA action.
All right, yeah. I was just about to say the Nuggets are up on the Warriors right now by 2. Oh no, they're actually down by 2. But all righty, we kind of went a little bit longer on the draft than I expected to, and there is a lot of series to get through. Quite literally 8 series to get through. So we won't spend too much time on each one. Like the Bucks Bulls is what we're going to start with. I guess it probably just ended because it is not an exciting series whatsoever. So there's really not much for us to talk about it there. I'm actually going to check because that game was going on as we got started. So yes, okay. Milwaukee just won Game 5, 116-100 today, winning the series 4-1, and they are on to play the Celtics in round 2.
Nice. My Bucks in 5 bet hit.
Perfect. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Those are so satisfying when it's a bet like that, like the exact series price and everything. Like you feel like such a sharp, like
wet.
Yeah.
It was only plus 150 though, so.
I mean, it's decent, but yeah.
Yeah, I only put a unit, so it wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah. But overall, in this series, we've kind of already said it last week, but the Bulls have been abysmal after their only win of the series. Like they just kind of haven't done anything. Really nothing to talk about. They've just declined slowly but surely over the course of the season and now into the playoffs, which was somewhat expected with that new roster. I was kind of shocked seeing how well they were playing at the beginning of the season. And then we all saw how they played against teams with actual winning records. And then we saw what happens when they play a actually good team in the playoffs. And they got smacked. So we're not even going to talk about that one. We're going to talk about the potential matchup now because it's a guarantee, Bucks and Celtics. Who do you have in that one?
Oh, my God, dude.
Dude, I have no idea, bro. Because, like, the Celtics sweeping the Nets completely threw me off. Like, I have no idea.
Is Chris Middleton still hurt?
He was in their most recent game. Well, actually, let me double check if he played today. He did not. Yeah, he did not play today.
Yeah, if Chris Middleton stays out, then I like the Celtics.
To win the series? Oh,
yeah.
Dude, that's so hard. It's so hard for me to pick against Giannis, but, like, man, the Celtics are playing really good. Jason Tatum looks damn good. Their defense is playing damn good.
Yeah, they got Robert Williams back.
Yeah, Robert Williams is making some big plays. Marcus Smart is playing smart, no pun intended. I mean, they're on a roll right now. It's honestly a little bit scary because now I'm kind of expecting the Heat to play the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. So we will see how that pans out. If I had to say right now off the top of my head, I'm going to go with the Bucks in 7. It's a really hard decision, but I would go Bucks in 7.
Celtics in 6.
Celtics in 6. Wow. Okay, that would be something.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just touch on it a little, just because of how crazy it was, the Celtics and the Nets. Because if you were to tell me going into the playoffs that the Celtics were going to sweep KD and Kyrie, and then the Suns would be tied 2-2 going into Game 5 against the Pelicans, I would have called you crazy. Like, there's no way I would have believed you.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's been absolutely nuts. There's been some dull moments, like the Bulls and Bucks series, but then there's been other moments like this, like with Devin Booker being out, things getting interesting, the Pelicans and Brandon Ingram playing out of their mind. It's been fun. But the Nets, so man, dude, Kyrie had his moments. Kevin Durant, I mean, overall, neither one of them did much to help their team win in this series. And one thing I kind of wanted to talk about is, and this may sound weird coming out because it's fucking KD, but do you notice a lack of X factor with KD?
I mean, I just think he might just be getting old a little bit. Like, he's what, 35 now?
I mean, yeah, that may be a little bit of a factor, but
I mean, he's had some injuries. He had that Achilles injury. I don't know. Maybe he's just not the same guy.
Because, like, when I think about it, like, the way I mean that is obviously he's a super elite player. He's clutch. He's just all around. But some of his efforts in that game, or not even just in that last game, but in that series as a whole, some of his efforts were really questionable. Like his defensive efforts, he was kind of clueless, lost in space, looked like he was kind of just standing there waiting for the play to be over. Like some interesting stuff that, if a guy like LeBron were to do, he'd be getting shit all over the media for it. But Kevin Durant, not so much. So it was just interesting to me seeing that happen. And then more so above KD and Kyrie's dilemma was Ben Simmons being a fucking pussy, dude. Like, it's hard. It's again kind of a hard topic because it's like the mental strain and everything. He went back and forth on playing or not like 3 times, 4 times it felt like, and every time seemed to be a bullshit excuse. The most recent one was when he was supposed to play in Game 4. He ended up sitting out because the stress of potentially playing re-triggered his back injury, which I don't understand how that happens.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that he doesn't have a back injury.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. And I talked to one of my buddies, and he brought up a good point. It was Colton. Colton,
yeah.
I asked him about this, like kind of what he thought about, like, because this just seems like such a bullshit reason to like sit out a game, And he was like, you'd be surprised, like, if this is truly like some mental battle that Ben Simmons is in and like can't get out of this mindset or something. Like, the human mind is super powerful. And like, if he thinks that he's going to get hurt and he like thinks that he's not healthy enough, then his body won't feel healthy enough type thing. So it's like, and I was like, that's an interesting point.
Okay. But if he felt like that, he wouldn't have dressed like the fucking Magic Man in Game 3.
Okay, that's a good point, yeah.
Like, what the hell was that? Like, because I saw the picture of him on the bench, and there's all this black, all this darkness, and then just him just looking like a clown on the bench. Like, what a joke.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, actually. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to defend Ben Simmons in any way by saying that, but it's just kind of something to consider. Like, we don't necessarily know exactly what's going on in his head. So it could be something like truly mentally challenging, but it just really seems like the frequency of the excuses, the style of the excuses, his persona is just bad vibes. Bad vibes all around.
Yeah, because like if you look at the beginning of the season, he was like, oh, I have a back injury. And he was like, oh, I'm going to come back to the team. And then he was like, on my mental health, I can't do it. When he agreed he was going to come back to the 76ers. Yeah. And then like, because there was that whole practice thing. He fucking walked out of practice because he didn't want to do a certain drill. I don't know, dude. If I see a Ben Simmons hitting threes clip on Instagram that he posts, I mean, I'm just completely done with the guy. And also, I would like to add that Stephen A. Smith just shined his brightest light after the Nets game.
Dude, he
had all of the takes. He had a lot to Kyrie. Say, yeah. He had Kyrie. He said when Russia invaded Ukraine, I didn't think Kyrie's going to play basketball, which is the funniest. thing ever.
Oh,
And
dude, only Stephen A.
And then he went into Ben Simmons and called him the lamest, most pathetic excuse for professional athlete of all time.
Yeah, that's what I remember. It was,
And I was
him
like,
just going in on Ben Simmons, dude.
and I was like, you know what? He might be right, because the dude is like, he's not hurt and he just doesn't want to play basketball, even though he's getting all that money.
Yeah, he's being soft as shit right now.
Like, this has happened a couple of times now. Kawhi's done it.
It's almost like
Kawhi's done it. Kyrie did it this year. Like, it's, I don't know. Some of this shit's gonna have to stop.
Like, obviously it's a very different situation, but this kind of gives me vibes of like, I don't know, like a rich white girl just getting money from her parents, like, you know, paying rent, paying for her car, and doing nothing, not having a job, and just like expecting the money to come in. You know, like, I think the Nets need to put on some suspension of pay or something. You know, take away the money, see what happens, see how he reacts when the money's not there.
Yeah, they might have to go with the league for that, because there's like something about contracts are like supposed to be all guaranteed. But if Ben Simmons sits out games next year, then it's just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what is this?
If that's the case, they're going to need to like rewrite a rule in the NBA rule book to like a drama queen rule. Like, if this player just straight up refuses, then you don't have to pay them. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
it's
overall, in summary, Ben Simmons is being a little pussy right now. So moving on to what I consider a very exciting series right now, which might be over after Game 5, but nonetheless, it's been really fun to watch, is the Suns and the Pelicans. Devin Booker is supposed to be back for Game 6, and if that happens, I think it's more than a wrap. This series is over. Suns are going to move on, but man, bravo, Brandon Ingram. Round of applause. Bravo, Brandon Ingram. Bravo, New Orleans. Fucking, I didn't think they would even make it into the playoffs. They did it. I didn't think they would win a game. They won 2 of them. Brandon Ingram looked damn good while doing so. I mean, this is a team that could maybe do something when Zion comes back, if he's coming back. That's another thing.
So Zion might be doing a little Ben Simmons act himself in New Orleans right
That's
now.
what I was about to say.
We really don't know.
Yeah, nobody knows what's going on, dude. Like, they just don't even talk about him anymore.
I listened to an interview with the broadcast booth announcer, and he was saying, like, well, Zion's 100% happy in New Orleans, and he's going to stay. He's going to come back next year. It's just like, is he, though?
Well, yeah. I talked to a New Orleans fan who was like, basically, the front office is so terrified to dish out Zion because not only did New Orleans already get rid of Anthony Davis when he was a star, New Orleans just lost Drew Brees. New Orleans can't afford to lose their only other superstar in the city. Like, the city would turn on them, you know? So that's an interesting factor. It seems like they want to keep him almost just for the fact of having a marquee guy in New Orleans type thing.
That's how Sean Payton didn't get traded to the Cowboys.
Yeah,
because Anthony before they completed the trade, Anthony Davis got traded by the Pelicans, and they're like, we can't.
Oh, I remember you telling me about that. Yeah, because they didn't want to go like back to back. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. So, overall, I think the Suns, like in Game 5 in that win where they went up 3-2, that really showcased their depth and just kind of how good of a team they are, because Chris Paul finished with, I think, 4 points. He was ass poo-poo. They shut him down. And that was without Devin Booker too. So Suns definitely showed their depth, showed why they're the 1 seed there. And I think they're going to get the job done, and they're going to be in the next round pretty easy. So moving on now to a series that last week we thought was more than over, but this week we're looking at some potential history being made, and that's the Raptors 76ers. 76ers were up 3-0. Nick Nurse was kind of talking like, yeah, we don't want it to be 3-1. 3-1's never been done before. And it's like, oh, okay, Nick Nurse. Okay, big buddy. So they're feeling confident, it seems like. They've won the last 2 games. I could actually see them winning the third game with the next game with the way the 76ers brain fart, with the way the 76ers have been playing. So I guess overall, do you see the Raptors actually having a chance of being the first team to come back from 3-0 down?
100% yes. I also have money on it.
Oh, fuck yeah. I love that.
I put like 25 to win like 120 on them on a series price. It's like plus 450. I think that this game going back to Toronto, game 6.
Game 6 was the most recent
game
one.
6.
No,
sorry.
Game 5 actually. Game 5 was most recent, yeah.
Yeah, so now game 6 going into Toronto. I don't think the 76ers are going to be able to win in that environment with how Toronto is. It's a tough place to play.
Yeah.
And Raptors players just play incredibly well at home.
Yeah.
And then as soon as that, then it becomes a 7-game series. The 76ers are emotionally defeated by that point after losing 3 games in a row. It's the Raptors series.
That's so weird to say, bro. It's so because I mean, I kind of agree that right now they kind of control the destiny. Like, I totally agree. I think it's going to be a tough place to play, tough environment. They're already a bit rattled. They're going to be more rattled. I think it goes to 3-3. My thing is, realistically, I do see a game 7 in Philadelphia. I think it's going to be tough because Embiid's probably going to put up like 40 points. James Harden, I'm not going to promise anything for James Harden in the playoffs, but Joel Embiid, he'll put on a performance.
Dude, I don't know. His thumb is bugging him.
That's true. That is true. How severe is that?
I mean, it's an injury.
Yeah. Is it a shooting hand or no?
I think so.
I mean, either way, it would suck because, like, I mean, you're using both hands.
I don't know.
All fingers,
it's hurting his game though. Like he's hurt.
Yeah.
He needs surgery in the offseason. That's how bad it is.
I was watching. I think it was on TikTok where it was a video of Nick Nurse because he's been like super serious, like Dark Knight type serious about this whole series and this comeback. And he was in the media and he said, he was like, when it was 3-0, he's like, this is going to be a slugfest, like straight face the way he said it. And then they told Pascal Siakam what he said. And then Siakam had like the weirdest, ugliest, like laugh. And was like, did he say that? What is this even basketball? And it's like, bro, what are you saying, Pascal? But that was an interesting interaction. But I love seeing that from the Raptors head man. I think he's very confident in his team right now. He coached a couple great games. And I guess going back now to Embiid and Harden, like you mentioned Embiid being hurt. I kind of want to talk a little bit more about Harden.
Yeah, he's a bum.
Does James Harden have a playoff curse wherever he goes, or is he just straight up bad in the playoffs?
He's a bum.
So you think it's his fault, not necessarily like he – I mean, I guess
I'm not going to say his entire playoff career is his fault. I mean, he's in Western Conference Finals, Game 7 once with the Rockets.
You're right,
you're right. Warriors, which is, you can't really blame him for that.
Yeah,
he just really
big feat.
When he was at his best, the Warriors were at their peak.
You're right, yeah.
Obviously, like nobody was stopping them, especially after they added KD. So like some of it you can't really fault Harden for. Last year he was hurt with Brooklyn, and now he's just, I mean, he's fat.
Yeah.
So he's fat and slow. He's a bum.
I mean, he's been a little chunky for a while now, but no, I mean, he is a bum right now. That's kind of my ideology. Until we get to next regular season, and he's dropping like 30 points a game with like 20 free throws. So
yeah,
and it's back to normal. Season. Yeah, I was gonna say back to normal James Harden shit. So, also after they lost that, holy shit, no way, Grand Slam Angels, baby.
There you go.
Let's go. All right, sorry. I just got that notification. That's huge. They're up by 4 runs now. That's really big.
Yeah, that's a lock.
All right. Anyway, though, sorry. Yeah. So Joel Embiid, after that Game 5 loss, you could tell his body language. He was not happy. Like he did not want to talk to the media, and he just very abruptly. They asked, like, what's going on? How are you guys adjust? He just said, "We're fine." That's all he said. That's it. Do you think they're actually fine, or do you think there's a little bit of internal panic going on in Philadelphia?
Yeah. They're not fine. They are not fine.
Well said.
If there's any coach to blow this, it's Doc Rivers, which I hate to say because like he has a ring, but that ring was also almost 15 years ago. So
It's almost irrelevant at this point. Yeah,
he did it 3 times with the Clippers.
Like went to the finals.
No. Blew a 3-1 lead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was about to say he did not go to the finals with the Clippers.
No, he never
yeah,
went
okay.
to the finals. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. He is kind of infamous for blowing a lead.
So if there's any coach to do it, it's him. And they're hurt. Their next best player is Harden. I they had Tyrese Maxey, but like he just kind of came out of nowhere for the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know. Maxey's been on the rise over the course of the season. Maxey's had a few moments.
Yeah. But I really think all the momentum's with Toronto, especially now that Game 6 is gonna be in Toronto. I really think that they're gonna win Game 6, and by that point, it's gonna be too little, too late for the 76ers.
Yeah, and no matter how this pans out, the Raptors winning these last 2 games has drastically helped the Miami Heat. No matter who comes on top of this series or who comes out on top, because if the Sixers win, they're still a little bit rattled from that scare. They played a little bit more, a few extra games than they thought they would have to. And then if the Raptors come out, that's a little scary because they're riding high. But also they played a full 7 games if they come out. So, and Heat only played 5.
Which is a bruiser of the series, honestly.
Yeah. And so that gives me a little bit more, I don't know, not hope because I'm pretty confident that he can get past the next round. But just confidence, I guess. A little bit more confidence in that. So let's go ahead and touch a little bit on the Heat and Hawks because that one's already over. The Heat advanced in 5, winning the series 4-1. And I think this series just showed why the Miami Heat have the best defense in the league. I think it's very close with the Celtics and the Heat. So it's hard to say, but I'm a little biased, so I'm going to go with the Heat. They quite literally held Ice Trae to 24 turnovers and 20 made shots during the entire series. 3 of Trae Young's
Crazy.
3 of his 4 lowest scoring games all season came in this series. So the Heat locked him down. It was other than game 3, where the Hawks won. Trae Young had like 13 points in the 4th quarter. And then the media was freaking out. They were like, oh, Ice Trae, ice in his veins. Oh, it was pissing me off because I was like, guys, let's calm down. We're still shitting on them. Like, they got one on us, okay? But nothing revelational here to say. This was kind of the expected result that in a quick series. And the only thing that really worries about me right now is that I kind of saw is the Heat don't have much of an offensive identity. They heavily rely on that defense to make those plays. And they have so many different options. It's almost like they don't have a regular option, if that makes sense. Like Hero can almost score at will. He might even be their number 1 scoring option. Jimmy Butler, I know it's hard to say, but Hero might actually be like their number 1 scoring option.
Jimmy Butler had 36, and then in another game he had 40.
That is the thing is I can't necessarily because Jimmy is like the 2nd highest scoring player in all of playoffs right now.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. But I noticed too in game 3, whenever we needed a win, we gave the ball to Jimmy every time, which is expected. Like I would expect us to give him the ball when we need a shot. What I didn't like seeing though was how forced it was because he took like 3 terrible shots while he was double teamed, didn't try to find the open man. And so the reason I say they don't have an offensive identity is because like Jimmy can be considered the number 1 depending on how you run things. Well, he should be, but Tyler can be considered the number 1 depending on how you run things. Bam Adebayo could also be that if you just feed it down low and let him bully people in the post. It's like they just have a lot of options. It's almost like, I don't know, it's almost like overwhelming for them, if that makes sense. Like the rotation's been a little bit weird. It's interesting.
I don't know. I just want to say that them winning game 5 without Jimmy or Kyle Lowry,
the way they did too.
Yeah, is a huge middle finger to the rest of the league. And this is definitely the first time where I was like, oh, that's why they're the 1 seed. They're actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would agree with you. They're definitely going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. If they win, I'm not sure. I mean, it could. They're looking at either the Bucks or the Celtics, who are either one's going to put up a good fight. So
That's what I was about to say. Is either way, I don't see the Eastern Conference Finals ending in less than 6 or 7 games. Probably 7. It's probably going to go to 7 either way. So, alrighty though, and then moving on now from a somewhat boring series to an incredibly entertaining series is the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies. In my opinion, this has by far been the best series of round 1. And who would have thought? We were kind of going into it like, good for the Timberwolves. Glad they made the playoffs. Like, hopefully they can maybe get a win. And then now here they are contending for the series. Like, that Game 5 loss was really tough for them. Last night, Ja had the final 13 points of the game for the Grizzlies to secure a double-digit fourth quarter comeback. So without that win in Game 5, I think Minnesota actually probably would have taken it. So that was really clutch for Memphis, really clutch by Ja. And with that being said, now that it's 3-2, do you think this locks up a second-round appearance for Memphis, or do you think the T-Wolves still have a shot at a comeback?
I think T-Wolves can take it to 7 for sure. Dude, they should already have this series locked up because both of the Grizzlies' 2 wins is because the Timberwolves blew 2 25-point leads, and then they blew a 13 or a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. And so it's just kind of like, okay, like this team obviously isn't ready to go forth. Like, it's good that they're getting to know what playoff basketball looks like. So I think that just the Grizz just kind of went out because they're just a better organized team. Like, both teams are very, very talented, but like just in terms of like discipline and all that, like it's the Grizz, and that's what's going to win them out. Next series though, either of these teams are going to play the Warriors. I'm hammering the Warriors to beat the Grizzlies.
Oh yeah, the series money line. Well, the series money line is probably going to be, even though the Grizzlies are the 2 seed, I think it's going to be pretty heavily in favor of Golden State. But no, you bring up an interesting point with, like, you're right. Like, basically all of the Grizzlies' wins have come from behind, especially their second win. It was like a 20-point comeback. It was nuts. So yeah, the Timberwolves could have had this series locked up. The way I see it is, I mean, if the Grizzlies lose Game 6, I think the Timberwolves will win it in Game 7. But I don't think that they're going to lose Game 6. I think the Grizzlies are going to go in there and have a lot better of a start because it seems like that's really where their focus is right now. Ja was outspokenly angry about the fact that they're like having to play from behind. He's like, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to, come out with that same focus we had. Like, so it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. If they don't get out to a hot start, then probably the Timberwolves will win Game 6. So either way, huge W season for Minnesota. This is all you could ask for and more, honestly, with their current roster. So good for them. And moving on now, almost at our last series, is the Mavericks and the Jazz. Elijah, how are we feeling about your Mavericks after that Game 5 beatdown? I don't even want to say game. That was a beatdown.
Oh, I feel great. I feel awesome and fantastic.
Dude,
give me the Suns.
They look so good, bro. They look so good in that last game.
They look dangerous. That Suns series is going to be – I'm not going to predict –
I was about to say, whoa, you guys still got another game to win.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Okay.
I don't think this Jazz team doesn't even like each other.
No, okay. They looked like shit. It wasn't even just that the Mavs played really well yesterday. The Jazz looked like shit.
Yeah, they're broken. They're a broken team. Mitchell and fucking Gobert hate each other.
Yeah, never passes him the ball like twice a game.
So they're done.
And then Mitchell only had I think Mitchell had a really, really bad game last night. I forgot how many he finished with.
Hurt. He got taken out of the game.
Oh, okay.
And then
that makes more sense.
They said he's good to go for Game 6, but he's probably gonna be playing hurt. So
yeah, I
know
was
how
like
that might come
loosely
back.
watching that because I mean it was a beatdown. There was really no point in me watching it. I was watching it while I played. Oh fuck! No, the Kings just gave up a goal. Fuck. Okay, sorry. I keep getting distracted by this parlay. Too much sweats going on, but no, yeah, I agree. I think the Jazz kind of, especially with the way that Game 5 happened, they look done. I know they got the home court advantage in Game 6, but I don't even see them winning that one. I think the Mavs are going to get it done in 6. They win this next one. And watching the Mavs this series has just really it's made me think because I'm not a Mavs fan, but I love Luka. So part of me kind of has like a liking for them now just because of Luka. But it makes me think how legit of a contender the Mavs would be if they had an athletic big man like Bam Adebayo. If you put Bam Adebayo on the Mavs right now, I think they are champions of the West.
Really?
I do. I maybe even there are a few other guys like Bam Adebayo, but I just think they need somebody other than Dwight Powell as their big man.
I mean, Dwight Powell, he's good.
He's done okay. It's the whole reason you guys lost Game 4.
We didn't talk about that.
I remember watching that, and I was like, no way this game is coming down to Dwight Powell free throws right now. Like, no way.
Yeah. But, no, yeah, hopefully we can get one. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we've been saying the Mavs are a center away since Tyson Chandler left in 2011 after the championship. So, I'm not going to hold my breath for us to finally get one. It was supposed to be Kristaps, but we all know how that turned out.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's like if Kristaps worked out, then you guys would be awesome, but he didn't really work out. Yeah, so
nope, he got hurt too much. He wasn't the same guy.
All righty, so it seems like we both agree the Jazz are finished. And then last but not least, let's wrap up this NBA talk with the Warriors and the Nuggets. Personally, I don't see any possible scenario where the Nuggets can come out of this one alive, even if they win this next game. The Warriors are just too good, and Jokic can only do so much. That's really all I got to say about it. You got anything?
Sorry, I was looking up free agent centers.
For the NFL?
Yeah.
No, for NBA. I thought you meant, I was about to say, whoa, switching topics now, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, we're going to sign DeAndre Ayton.
Ooh, that would be interesting. I think that would also make you guys a contender as well. I think Bam is a lot better than Ayton, but Ayton might be a better fit for what you guys need.
Anyway,
yeah, I like that idea. But
or Mo Bamba.
Oh, fuck that. No, fuck no. All right, anyway, moving on to the NBA or out of the NBA into a potential crazy boxing / UFC bout. If you didn't see it over the weekend, the Gypsy King Tyson Fury announced it after his knockout win over Dillian Whyte. And this is not just an announcement. This is a confirmed announcement, as they said it is already agreed upon. It's huge. It's going to change the fight game, potentially could alter the course of boxing and UFC, relationships forever. Who knows? But essentially, Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou, the heavyweight champions of their respective sports, are going to do I guess I would say mixed, but that just makes it sound like MMA. It's like half MMA rules, half boxing rules. So in a way, it technically is mixed martial arts, but like a kind of weird twist on things that we haven't really seen before. So Tyson Fury said in the quote while he was announcing it, it's going to be a hybrid fight with different type of rules, MMA gloves in the ring, kind of like a mix-up, maybe something a little different. So we don't know exactly how it's going to look. It's supposed to take place in 2023, so we still have a while. Ngannou wants it to happen in Africa and call it the Rumble in the Jungle, which would kind of be cool. But and Fury doesn't give a fuck. He just wants the fight to happen. He literally is like, yeah, you sort out the details. Let's fight. Let's do it. So the biggest thing for me, like the biggest kind of turning head point on this is Francis Ngannou's UFC contract. So his UFC contract expires in December. And, we've talked about how much he's getting hoed by Dana White and how underpaid he has been for the caliber of fighter he is. And also, coincidentally, he just had ACL and MCL surgery, which puts him out until after December of this year, meaning he won't be able to fight again until after his UFC contract is up. And Francis Ngannou has been very outspoken on the fact that he's not happy with being underpaid. So, is this his way out of the UFC?
Oh, yeah. He's definitely going to do this fight and probably come back to the UFC.
You think he'll go back to, like, he'll sign into, like, I don't.
No,
I think Dana would let him, though, is the thing. He probably would let him even while he was on contract.
I don't know either way, but I could just see him doing this fight, making $1 billion, and then telling Dana White, "Fuck you, pay me." And then Dana White has to because he knows how much of a cash cow he is. Because this fight's going to be huge. Like, everyone's going to buy this fight.
Oh, yeah, dude, this is going to be Ngannou's.
Like,
Ngannou might make more on this one fight than he's made in his entire UFC career. And that's, like, not even an exaggeration.
Yeah. Because every MMA fan is going to watch this. Every boxing fan is going to watch this for Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
So, like, literally, you got everybody wants this fight, all types of fans. So, yeah, it's gonna make $1 billion, probably $10 billion.
See,
not really.
These are the pay-per-views we need, not fucking Jake Paul against, I don't know, an ex-NBA player that didn't grow past 5'8". We don't need to see that shit. We want to see Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou, the two biggest, baddest motherfuckers in the fight game, go at it toe-to-toe. Like, I'm just getting goosebumps thinking about it, dude. It's going to be awesome. Who do you think's going to win, though? If there is, like, a decisive winner. I don't know how the rules will work out yet, but they did say they're going to be using MMA gloves, not boxing gloves.
I don't know. We're still so long away from it. I mean, if it's more boxing, then it's probably going to be Fury. That's
my thing is it's so hard because Fury has never taken a punch like Ngannou. And, like, yes, he's fought Deontay Wilder multiple times. And yes, Wilder has the hardest punch in boxing. That is a lot different when there's a 16-pound or 16-ounce glove of padding hitting your face rather than nearly bare knuckle with an inch of a pad on it. Like, I don't think Fury's ready to take that kind of hit, but also I don't think Ngannou has ever had to face somebody as big and bad as Tyson Fury.
Yeah, and it's technical.
Very technical, yeah. Like, his stand-up, I mean, obviously he's a boxer, so his stand-up game is going to be all he has. But, I mean, like, that's the thing is Fury definitely takes the stand-up over Ngannou. It's just whether or not Ngannou's knockout power will just catch him. Like,
God.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun to watch, bro.
Do you remember when they made Ngannou a dog against Francis Ngannou, and then he picked up Ngannou and slammed him on the ground? That was fucking sick.
Cyril Gane?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh, that was music to my ears, bro. Because that was like one of my biggest locks ever. I was like, dude, Ngannou at plus money, no shot.
It made me scared, but I had to do it, and I was very glad about my decision. Yeah. But okay.
All right.
That's our episode. We're now gonna do some love it or loathe it.
Yeah, get into it. I know it's getting to your bedtime, Mr. Old Man.
Yeah, I got things to do.
All righty. I'll read off the first batch to you. So,
okay.
All right. First things first. The Los Angeles Rams made a draft movie trailer, and it's pretty sweet.
So, have you seen this?
I have not, actually. I'm hoping you can tell me about
it. You got to look it up. I started watching it. I just saw it, and I was like, let me see what this is. Like, I was expecting it to be kind of corny, and then I quickly realized that they sunk they probably spent like $1 million or $5 million on this thing. It is very well produced.
I'm on like the 10th second and already, yeah, it looks like a fucking Hollywood blockbuster movie. Like,
it's awesome. It's got it's got Stafford in it, Cooper Kupp's in it, Donald's in it. And like it's all like we're gonna steal the draft. It's like a heist movie. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that.
It was actually funny too, and some of those guys were actually good actors.
Dude, I want more teams to do shit like that. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so love it. I absolutely love it.
All right, and then next up, Jason Sudeikis, more better known maybe as Ted Lasso, recently had his custody papers served to his ex, Olivia Wilde, while she was performing at Comic-Con. Oh my God,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. All-time vicious move.
Oh, that's great.
I did some more digging on it. Apparently, he didn't know that she was going to be served these papers, or when and where she was going to be served. He just knew that they're going to be served. So whoever, I don't know how you file served papers, but whoever you did it with, they don't fuck around.
They're ruthless, bro. I forget what like the job title is, but those people that like they literally wear disguises to like get people to admit that they're them, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, here's your package. Psych, you've been served," and then they leave. Like,
yeah, like Pineapple Express.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I think of every time.
Yeah.
And so those people have got to be ruthless. I bet some of them are just straight up assholes, and then others just want to have fun with it. Like they were probably definitely like, "Oh, dude, let's wait till she's on stage." Like,
It's probably the worst job.
yeah, that would not be fun. All right, moving on now. Peyton Manning announced the Demaryius A. Thomas Scholarship Endowment for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I love this. This is a pretty cool thing to do for Peyton Manning. And another thing that's really cool about it, it will only be for students from Lawrence County, Georgia, and surrounding areas, which is where Demaryius Thomas is from.
That's pretty sweet. I like that.
Yeah, so good guy move by Peyton Manning.
Very good guy move.
All right, Demaryius Thomas.
And then the New York Mets and St. Louis Cardinals game cleared the benches today. This was today. The second time this season already for the Mets.
Mets are feisty.
I love it, dude. Pete Alonso. You see Pete Alonso and Nolan Arenado throwing it down?
Dude, Pete Alonso literally said, today, he goes, I could have put people in the hospital, but I chose not to. I was just there to protect my teammates. I'm like, that, whether you're serious or not, that is it's
a bad motherfucker.
Baller, yeah, it's a baller thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
But okay.
Yeah, definitely.
T. Morant and Usher sat next to each other at the last Grizzlies game, and they're twins.
Wait, Usher has a twin?
No, T. Morant. John Morant's dad. Look it up.
Okay, see, that's what I was about to say. I was like, I didn't recognize T. Morant. Hold on, let's see. T. Morant. Oh, shit, dude. He kind of does look like Usher. Wait, yeah, literally, I look up T. Morant, and then the first picture is Usher sits with lookalike T. Morant.
Yeah.
Dude, they do look very alike. Usher's just a little bit bigger.
It was kind of crazy. When they first showed it on the broadcast, like I couldn't tell who was Usher. And then I just saw like the big U chain. I was like, okay, that's Usher. The other guy's John Morant's dad.
Oh, that's hilarious, dude. That's definitely a love it. They need to sit next to each other every game just for the fuck of it.
For sure. Patty the Batty is already extremely fat after his last fight.
So I'm going to ironically love this one because Patty the Batty does whatever the fuck he wants, you know? He was in an interview after one of his fights, and he was like already scarfing down like an entire pizza. And they were like, kind of like, yo, Patty, like, aren't you worried about, you know, putting on the pounds or like cutting down and making weight? And he was like, in his accent, you know, he's like, I can't be asked about that. I'd rather be fat and happy than skinny and sad. Like these people over here, they're not happy. Fuck that. No. It's like you do you, Patty. You know, if you want to get fat, you get fat because I guarantee he's gonna get ripped for his next fight. So yeah, he's gonna be prepared.
Patty the Batty. Mark Emmert to step down as NCAA president.
Yeah, also love this one because not so much because he's because he's stepping down, because the NCAA has done a lot of dumb shit in years past, from canceling a women's golf championship to literally just exiling NC State from the College World Series last year to a whole bunch of other bullshit rules along the way, mostly disrespecting women's sports in the sense of not putting them in the same limelight as men's, or even giving them the same opportunities. So fuck you, Mark Emmert. Hopefully somebody new steps up, somebody that actually is a little bit more progressive and wants to, change sports for the better.
Okay. And then last but not least, Oakland A's average attendance is 7,942. It's about half of the second lowest attendance in the league.
Yeah, so I'm gonna loathe this one because this is embarrassing for the A's. Now, obviously, they have all that shit going on with their stadium and their billionaire owner being a little greedy sack of shit, basically threatening to move the team if the state doesn't pay for a new stadium with tax dollars. So fuck that guy. But yeah, this is just bad. I mean, it is not even close to the second lowest attendance in the league. Like, I think the second lowest is like 13,200, and the A's are at 7,900. Like, that's bad. They've had 2 games this year with less than 3,000 people. There are minor league teams selling more than the fucking Savannah Bananas. And do you know who they are, bro?
Yeah.
They sell more than the A's, bro. That's saying something. Like,
Savannah Bananas.
I mean, they're super entertaining. I love their videos. And
they don't play real baseball.
I know, exactly, bro. It's not even real baseball, and they still pull more than the A's, who are a professional baseball organization. Like, oh, it's crazy. But
okay, yes or no? Do the A's move into the Raiders Stadium if they move to Las Vegas?
Oh my god, dude! Oh my god, dude! If they did, bro, there would be some riots in Oakland, man. I don't even. That would be just the stupidest thing that their owner could do. Which, honestly, though, I wouldn't put it past him at this point. He seems to be all about his money.
There's a lot of buzz that they're gonna move to Vegas.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of buzz that are moving to Vegas, but like, I don't know if they would move into the same stadium.
No, they're not.
Yeah, like,
Mark Davis is gonna be like, no. Well,
yeah,
you're not gonna do this anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not his.
Especially with how nice that stadium is.
Yeah,
like, Jesus.
$2 billion stadium.
Yeah, it's insane. But alrighty, though, that's going to be it for our episode this week. Very exciting time right now in sports with the draft coming up tomorrow, NBA playoffs in full swing, and the NHL playoffs getting started in just 2 days. So, yeah, thank you guys for listening. We will be back again next week, probably recapping how our thoughts on the draft, maybe talking a little bit more football than we normally do at this time of year. So, yeah, excited for that, and stay tuned. We'll be back on Wednesday. All right, peace.